So today we are very fortunate that we are having His Grace Shastra Krit Prabhu to enlighten us on Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Prabhuji, are you present on the call? Hare Krishna.
I'll check on him, Mataji, one second.
Okay, Mataji.
He should be on the call any minute. He was trying. So let's see if he gets the line.
Okay, Mataji. So we can chant meanwhile.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat.
Srila Prabhupada Teacher Guru Maharaj ki jai. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable association. So now you can take over the call, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, the reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 20.58, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is the verse. It says, Name Bhaktas Chaturvedi Mad Bhakta Swapacha Priya Tasmai Devyam Tato Grahyam Sacha Pujo Yatai Hiyaham. Translation. Lord Krishna said, even though a person is very learned scholar of the Sanskrit Vedic literatures, he is not accepted as my devotee unless he is pure in devotional service. However, even though a person is born in a family of dog eaters, he is very dear to me if he is a pure devotee who has no motive to enjoy fruitive activity or mental speculation. Indeed, all respects should be given to him, and whatever he offers should be accepted. Such devotees are as worshipable as I am. Purport. This verse is included in the Hari Bhakti Vilas 10.127 compiled by Sanatana Goswami. So there's not much purport, so we'll read the next verse as well. This is text 59. Viparat Dvisad Guna Yutad Aravinda Naba Padaravinda Vimukta Swapacham Varishtam Manye Tad Arpita Mano Vachen Hitartha Pranam Hunati Sakulam Natu Burimana. Translation. One may be born in a Brahmana family and have all 12 Brahmanical qualities. But if he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who has a navel shaped like a lotus, he is not as good as a Chandala who has dedicated his mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the service of the Lord. Simply to take birth in a Brahmana family or to have Brahmanical qualities is not sufficient. One must become a pure devotee of the Lord. If a Swapacha or Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself, but his whole family. Whereas a Brahmana, who is not a devotee, but simply has Brahmanical qualifications, cannot even purify himself, what to speak of his family. Purport. This verse is spoken by Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam 7, 9, 10. A Brahmana is supposed to be qualified with 12 qualities as stated in Mahabharata. Dharmas cha satyam cha damas tapas cha atmatsrayam rishtitikshanusya yagyascha danam cha driti srutam cha vritani vai dvadasa brahmanasya. A Brahmana must be perfectly religious. He must be truthful and he must be able to control his senses. He must execute severe austerities and he must be detached, humble and tolerant. He must not envy anyone. He must be expert in performing sacrifices and whatever he has in charity, giving whatever he has in charity. He must be fixed in devotional service and expert in the knowledge of the Vedas. These are the 12 qualifications for a Brahmana. The Bhagavad Gita 18:42 describes the Brahmanical qualities in this way. Samo damas tapas saucham shantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom and religiousness, these are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. In the Mukta Phala Tika, it is said, Samodamas tapas saucham shanti arjava viraktya jnana vijnana santosha satyastikya dvisad gunai. Mental equilibrium, sense control, austerity, cleanliness, tolerance, simplicity, detachment, theoretical and practical knowledge, satisfaction, truthfulness, and firm faith in the Vedas, the 12 qualities of a Brahmana. Om Madhyana Timurandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshunmritamena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Budle Srimati Devamrita Swamini Janamani. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Budle Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Janamani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya. Om Ajnana Timurandasya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Guru Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So it's a very beautiful verse and purport where we're getting an idea of the Brahmanical qualities. In Kali Yuga, it's mentioned that Kalau Sudra Sambhava, that Kali Yuga is full of Sudras. Therefore, there's so much agitation in the world. But here we can see the qualities of the Brahmana. Krishna explains that Chaturvarnyam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasa, that this system of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas are actually created by Krishna. So it's a completely scientific system. But in Kali Yuga, people are misunderstood. And it's also the fault of the Brahmanas where, they, even though they have no qualities or qualification, people, have false ego and they claim to be superior and they abuse the lower classes. Then it's created such a chaotic understanding of caste system all over the world. People, whenever they think about this varnashrama, people immediately understand misunderstand it to be this perverted caste system, and they're like disgusted with it. And in India nowadays, especially in South India, you cannot even talk about this varnas and ashrama. If you claim to be a brahmana, people are like, ready to beat you up. And people are so rebellious, and you cannot even mention these words like Sudra, because people have no understanding of what these things are and what they're meant for. But here in Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita is also Srimad Bhagavatam. It's nothing but, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Bhakta Avatar. He's come, Krishna himself has come in the role of a devotee to show us how to live Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, they give us this understanding of what is a real Brahmana. What are the qualities and qualifications that we're supposed to live by, especially those who are Brahman initiated. And it's mentioned how a qualification of a Vaishnava is even greater than that of a Brahmana. This idea is forgotten, and it's so beautiful. Srimad Bhagavatam again and again it mentions the position and the greatness of a Vaishnava. So by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can see the exalted position of a Vaishnava and the loving dealings between Vaishnavas. Chaitanya Charitamrita was a very favorite book of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Whenever he would get time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would simply read Chaitanya Charitamrita and enjoy like this. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta also predicted that in the future, this Chaitanya Charitamrita is so nice that in the future that people all over the world, they will actually learn Bengali to be able to relish the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But we are so fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has given such a beautiful translation of the Chaitanya Charitamrita in English. So, even if you're not so good in Bengali or we don't have time to learn Bengali, we can still simply read in whatever language we are comfortable with. It's all translated in all kinds of languages, Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We can read in our own language and relish. But the important thing is to read Chaitanya Charitamrita so we can understand how, the Lord loves His devotees, how the devotees have loving exchanges, how to worship the deities, how to chant the names of Krishna, how to cook prasadam, how to preach, how to lead kirtan, how to avoid offenses, what are the different holy places. Everything is mentioned. If we read them, we'll become a perfect Vaishnava. Just like we are saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this chapter, he is embracing Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami, because he was associated with the Nawab, the Muslim kings, in their association, Prabhupada explains, the Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami practically became, they were considered like Muslims. Back in the day, the people were so strict and fanatical that even if you associate with closely with Muslim. No respectable Brahmana will associate with you. Like in the pastime of Subudhi Roy. Subudhi Roy, there was this Brahmana, and he was a king, and he had this little Muslim boy that used to work for Subudhi Roy. And one time what happened was this Muslim boy was misbehaving, so Subudhi Roy struck him with a cane. And the cane left a mark on his back. So later on, this Muslim boy grew up and became a king. So the wife of this, Muslim king, he said one day the Muslim wife saw that this person had the Muslim king had a mark on his back. And the wife asked him, what happened? And then he said, when I was a little boy, my boss, he struck me with a cane, it left a mark. And the Begum, the wife, she became very disturbed. She said, how can, this be possible? You should kill this Subudhi Roy for this offense. And the Muslim king said, what are you talking about? He was like my teacher, he was like my father, he corrected me, so I cannot kill him for that. So the lady said, at least you should punish him by making him a Muslim also. So the king took a little pot from his water from his pot and sprinkled it on Subudhi Roy. And the whole society considered him also a Muslim just from that, simple act. So Subudhi Roy was going here and there trying to get some prayaschitta, trying to find some relief, some atonement, but different people were giving different crazy ideas. One of the Brahmanas said, you should drink smoking hot ghee to purify yourself. Somebody else said you should drink smoking hot lead. And this way, everybody was giving advices that was not very practical. But when he met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, no problem, you chant Hare Krishna and you go to Vrindavan where my devotees will come. And the Bengali devotees really liked rice prasad. And they also liked oil massage with mustard oil. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Subudhi Roy, you go to Vrindavan and you massage my devotees that will come to Vrindavan and you make them rice prasad and you will be forgiven of all offenses. So like this, when Rupa and Sanatana were closely associated with the Muslim kingdom, they were ostracized, they were considered Muslims. But when they became devotees, when they embraced this Bhagavatam and association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, they became worshipable. Like in this past time, we saw how, Chandrasekhar Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Chandrasekhar, go outside and see if Sanatan Goswami is there. And when Chandrasekhar checked and came back, and Chandrasekhar said, no, there is no Vaishnava outside. And Lord Chaitanya asked him, is anybody outside? And then Chandrasekhar says, yes, there is some Muslim mendicant outside. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can see this is not a Muslim mendicant, this is Sanatan Goswami. So he told him, go bring him. So when he brought him, Sanatan Goswami tried to escape from the prison, and he went through so many hardships to get to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's all beard is grown and he's disheveled, and his clothes were not clean. He looked like a Muslim, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't mind. He actually embraced him, and they both, even though Sanatan Goswami is so humble, he wouldn't want that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embrace him, but still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of affection for him, embraced him. This goes to show how dear the devotees of the Lord are for the Lord. The Lord loves his devotees so dearly. And it's also showing us how much we should love the devotees. Even in the Christianity, it's mentioned that, Jesus Christ, he actually washed the feet of his disciples. And they were like, so embarrassed, they wouldn't allow that, but forcibly he performed this foot bathing for his disciples, apostles. And Christ told his disciples, if I am ready to worship, you, then you all must, how much more you should all worship each other. There was also another famous quote from the Bible. It says, if you have a difference of opinion with another devotee, with a God brother, before you go on the altar and you make all kinds of offerings to the Lord, you put down the offering and you go to that fellow devotee, fellow God brother, and you fall at his feet and you make up for your offenses. Then you go back on the altar and you make an offering. Then the Lord will accept. Otherwise, the Lord will not want your offering. Similarly, we in Kali Yuga, it's very degraded age. Even though we are trying to be bhaktas, we're trying to apply these processes, but it's natural. It's natural. We feel like fish in the water, making offenses to others and, speaking bad about others. And this way, we commit so many offenses. But by reading these pastimes, we can learn how much the Lord loves his devotees and how careful we have to be with the devotees. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is a statement where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, even a fallen devotee, even a devotee that, ordinarily like we consider, okay, he's fallen, he's a rascal. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, as far as the Lord is concerned, in his vision, if you put this whole universe with all the jewels and rivers and mountains and all kinds of, amazing valuables on a scale, and you put even a fallen devotee, a lowly devotee on the other side, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in his calculation, in his vision, that lowly devotee is far greater and more valuable to him than all the other wealth. In Chaitanya Bhagavat also, Mahaprabhu says, if you just do two things, I will take you back to Godhead. Chant Hare Krishna and do not offend devotees. If you just do these two things, I will definitely take you back to Godhead like this. And with the same Sanatana Goswami, we all know this famous pastime where Sanatana Goswami developed this skin disease where there was actually pus. There was actually like, Prabhupada call it weeping. It's like a rash, weeping rash. There's like all kinds of like fluid was coming out of Sanatana Goswami's body. So Sanatana Goswami, anytime Lord Chaitanya would see him, Lord Chaitanya would embrace him. So when Lord Chaitanya, embraced him, and this bodily, the pulse and this things from the, Sanatana Goswami's rash would touch the form of Lord Chaitanya, it'll break the heart of Sanatana Goswami. He would be like so sad. It's like, I want to, serve the Lord, but I'm doing such a disservice by anointing the transcendental form of the Lord with my bodily fluids. So this way he was very agitated, very disturbed, very sad. And there was one senior devotee called Jagadananda Pandit. And Jagadananda Pandit, Sanatana Goswami asked him. Sanatana Goswami said, Jagadananda Pandit, maybe you can give me some advice. I'm in this situation where, I'm supposed to serve the Lord, but I'm making offenses to the Lord. So what do I do? And Jagadananda Pandit told Sanatana Goswami, the Lord already told you that to go to Vrindavan and write books. So why are you still here? Just go. So this way, Jagadananda Pandit advised him. And Sanatana Goswami was very happy to hear the advice. And he was ready to leave. And then he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to get his blessings. And Lord Chaitanya asked him, where are you going? He said, Jagadananda Pandit has rightly advised me to go to Vrindavan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very disturbed. He said, Sanatana Goswami, you are, I see you as my spiritual master. You're on the level of my guru. How dare this Jagadananda Pandit has the nerve, has the audacity to advise you to do something like leaving my association and going to Vrindavan. So he said how impudent this Jaga, that he can advise you to actually leave this place. And Sanatana Goswami, and Lord Chaitanya gave a very graphic example. He said, just like the mother has so much affection and love for the child, her son or daughter, baby, that when the baby actually passes stool and urine, she does not feel disgusted, she does not mind. She actually feels very happy. And out of affection and love, she cleans the baby and decorates the baby with so much happiness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, similarly, when I feel, when this bodily fluids from you, from this rash, this weeping rash touches my body, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I don't feel disgusted. I actually feel like Chatusmada. Chatusmada is a special paste they make for deities in the Vishnu temples. It's saffron, musk, and camphor. When you mix these three things and grind them together, this paste, this Chatusmada, is such an valuable, exalted offering they make for the deities. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami that, I don't mind at all your rashes. I find it like, Chatusmada is being smeared on my body. So we can imagine the love the Lord had for Sanatana Goswami. And through the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami was able to ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all kinds of amazing questions. If we remember in the past, sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowers his devotees to speak the tattva, the siddhanta. He empowers them to speak, like for example, with Ramananda Roy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to him, I'm just a Mayavadi sannyasi. I don't know anything. I don't know any of these conclusions of the Shastra. I want to ask you some questions, and if you can kindly answer me. So this way, he empowered Ramananda Rai to speak. But in this occasion, he empowered Sanatan Goswami to speak, to ask questions, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was speaking the conclusions of the Vedic scriptures, Achinta Beda Abeda Tattva, how the Jivera Swarup Hoi Krishna Nityadas, that the soul is eternal servant of Krishna, that people misunderstand the soul to be one with Narayana, but we are one with Krishna in quality but not in quantity, and we have our eternal Swarup in the spiritual world, but due to misuse of free will, we have come to this material world, and there are 8,400,000 species, and there's so much karma we can accumulate and become one of those species. And while we're wandering through these species, different species, somehow or other, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon, Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij, by the mercy of Guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say Krishna Guru, he says Guru Krishna Prasade. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we can actually stop this wandering of the cycle of birth and death. And he gave us the stress on chanting. By doing this chanting of the holy names, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was stressing so much on the chanting, especially for Kali Yuga. And he would send his disciples and God brothers and associates, everyone, everywhere, to spread the holy name, to spread the Yuga Dharma. And even after the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he empowered so many disciples, devotees to come, like Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya, like in recent times, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada, like this. The stress was given holy name. So he was teaching all these things to Sanatana Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, like all these Goswamis of Vrindavan and others, they become the recipient of Lord's mercy because they were non-envious. They were non-envious, and just like Krishna, he said to Arjuna, I'm speaking to you this message of Gita because you're non-envious, Arjuna. Srimad Bhagavatam also says, Paramo nirmatsaranam satam. This message of Srimad Bhagavatam, they're meant for people that are non-envious and pure at heart. So Sanatana Goswami was very dear, and the form of the devotee is also very dear. And one time Sanatana Goswami, same pastime, where when he had all this skin disease, Sanatana Goswami thought, like, what's the use of my living? I'm only like being burden. I'm contaminating the Lord's form, and I'm contaminating the devotees, and I'm not worth living. So Sanatana Goswami was thinking, let me throw myself under the wheel of the Ratha Yatra chariot, and this way I will end this offenses that I'm committing to the Lord and the devotees. But the Lord, being omniscient, omnipotent, he could understand the mind of Sanatana Goswami, and the Lord forbade him. He said, Sanatana, how belongs to me? You have no right to destroy something that belongs to me. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, by committing suicide, if one can get Krishna, I would have died long time ago. I wouldn't be maintaining my body. So this way he corrected Sanatana Goswami, saying like, you cannot think that you can, commit suicide and attain Krishna. That's a misunderstanding. Your body actually belongs to me. Same thing happened when Ramanujacharya and Quraysh, actually the king, Kulatunga, invited Ramanujacharya. He was actually a fanatical Saivite king, and he had a crooked disciple of Quraysh in the kingdom of Kulatunga. And this crooked disciple told Kulatunga, as long as you have Ramanujacharya alive, you cannot spread your Saivism. You cannot spread Lord Shiva's teaching. It's not possible. He's too powerful. So Kulatunga invited Ramanujacharya for a debate. But Quraysh, being an amazing disciple, he knew what will happen if Ramanujacharya goes to the court. So he begged Ramanujacharya to accept the cloth of a grihastha, and he put on the cloth of a sannyasi of his guru Ramanujacharya. And Quraysh showed up in the court of Kulatunga. So anyway, when there was a debate, Kulatunga was debating with Quraysh, who he thought was Ramanujacharya. So in the debate, Kulatunga said, either you sign that Shiva is supreme or you die. So instead of signing, Quraysh wrote a statement, a sarcastic statement, saying even Drona is greater than Shiva, because Shiva, Drona, all these like different measurements. So instead of signing Shiva is supreme, Quraysh signed saying Drona, referring to the measurement, saying Drona is greater than Shiva in terms of. And Kulatunga got so offended, so he told the guards to kill him. And then the sister of the king pleaded with him not to kill Ramanujacharya, because Ramanujacharya relieved the sister of the Kulatunga one time from ghost. So she pleaded with him not to kill him. So Kulatunga asked the guards to take Quraysh, which he thought Ramanujacharya, deep into the forest and pluck his eyes out. So the guards did that. They took him in the middle of the forest and they plucked his eyes out. And Ramanujacharya found out, the amount of sacrifice that this disciple has done. So he was so moved. So anyway, Ramanujacharya, Quraysh was brought to Ramanujacharya. And Ramanujacharya was so sorry. So Ramanujacharya gave him a specific prayer. He told him, you please go to Kanchipuram, you go to Varadaraj temple, and you sing these prayers to Varadaraj. And then Varadaraj will ask you for what benediction you want. And you tell Varadaraj that you want your eyes back. So Quraysh went and he sang. He sang these beautiful prayers. And then Varadaraj spoke and said, what can I do for you? And Quraysh said, this disciple of mine that worked with Kulatunga and betrayed us, can you please forgive him? And Varadaraj was like so happy to see how non-envious Quraysh is. Even though this disciple was so demoniac, still he's only praying, thinking about his welfare. So Varadaraj said, sure, I'll do that. Anything else you want? And Quraysh said, no, that's all I want. I don't want anything else. Again, he went back to Ramanujacharya. Still he was blind. And Ramanujacharya asked him, did you go to see Varadaraj? He said, yes. Did you sing the prayers? Yes. Did he speak to you? Yes. What did you ask him? Oh, I asked him to forgive my disciple. And Ramanujacharya said, oh, you are sorry that you're still blind. So he asked him again, go back again pray to Varadaraj and get your eyes back. So Koresh went back, and same thing happened. He sang all these prayers, and Varadaraj deity asked him, what do you want? He said, this King Kulatunga that was mean to so many Vaishnavas, and he plucked my eyes out. Can you please forgive him? What happened was, this Kulatunga, out of offenses that he has committed to Koresh and another guru of Ramanujacharya, he developed such a horrible cancer in his neck, and there was living worms in them, and eventually he died. So this Kulatunga went to hell. So Varadaraj said, yes, he's in hell. And Koresh said, can you please release him and forgive him? And Varadaraj said, you're so compassionate, Koresh. You're such an amazing devotee. I'll do anything for you. So he released, Varadaraj deity released this king from hell. And then the deity asked him, do you want anything else? He said, no, that's all I want. So he went back, and this time Ramanujacharya became very disturbed. He said, Ramanujacharya started chastising Koresh. You think you're better than your guru because I keep sending you and you're not listening to, what I want you to ask the deity. You lost something that belongs to me. The disciple's body is meant for the service of the guru. It belongs to the guru. It's not the disciple's property. So you lost a pair of eyes that belongs to me, but you're not, taking it serious. So he chastised him like that. So this time Koresh went back and sang the prayers and received his eyes back. Like that, again and again, we see that in the guru-disciple relationship, the relationship between the Lord and the devotees, there's nothing material. Material is only the consciousness. The consciousness, if we have mentality of enjoying this world, separate from Guru, separate from Krishna, then everything becomes material. But if our whole life becomes an offering to the service of the spiritual master, to the service of Krishna, then there's nothing material. We have to take excellent care of everything. That way, that also becomes a service. So we can see in these pastimes that, the Guru sees the disciples' form as, as spiritual. So Sanatana Goswami received so much mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's so many instances in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, that where the Lord loves his devotees so much that he sees their form, completely worshipable. Like Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur would chant 300,000 names a day. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, would bring him prasadam every day. Haridas Thakur, even though he was such an exalted Vaishnava, but these caste Brahmanas, the Pandas, will not allow him in Jagannath temple because they thought he was a Muslim. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Jagannath himself, would bring him prasadam every day. So one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought prasadam for Haridas Thakur. But Haridas Thakur was in his old age. He was not feeling well. He was just lying on his bed. He didn't even feel like taking any prasad. He was just like sad. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, so what's happening to you, Haridas? What's the news? And Haridas Thakur told him, my body is, well, but my real disease is I cannot finish my prescribed number of rounds. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, very beautiful instruction how to chant, how to, keep to the vow of chanting 16 rounds. Because even as devotees, sometimes, we have so busy, we have so many things going on, that sometimes we put the chanting, japa as the last thing of the day. After we do everything, our daily activities, last thing we're chanting Hare Krishna mantra. But Prabhupada said that's like a diseased condition. So Haridas Thakur knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going to end his earthly pastimes, but Haridas Thakur did not want to see that. He wanted to leave this world before that. So he said to the Lord, if you so desire, I want to leave my body looking at your lotus face and chanting your holy name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, like that. And Lord Chaitanya fulfilled his desire that he can leave his body, in his presence. So after Haridas Thakur left his body, generally speaking, the body, even living is basically like contaminated. The hair, nails, everything. We got to bathe 3 times a day, and there's so many restrictions to keep this body clean. What to speak of a dead body? But what to speak of a sannyasi touching a dead body? But Haridas Thakur's body, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw. It was spiritual. It was not a dead body of like a Muslim person. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this exalted Vaishnava. He made him Namacharya. And he did not see this body being contaminated. So he personally lifted the body of dead, like lifeless body of Haridas. And he was dancing. And he personally performed the funeral rites and personally distributed prasadam like this. So this way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was showing, the amazing position of a Vaishnava. Even when Jatayu was, killed by attack of Ravana, Ramchandra personally performed the funeral rites just like he did it for Dasarath. One time Ramanujacharya performed funeral rites for a Sudra, and the whole village was criticizing, and Ramanujacharya gave the example of Ramchandra performing funeral rites for Jatayu, just to show an example of how Jatayu was not even a human. It was a bird, and was not just a nice bird, was like the lowest of the birds. But still, because he was a devotee, he was worshipped by the Supreme Lord himself. So like this, by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can understand not just chanting Hare Krishna, even though the main process of Kali Yuga is chanting, but how to chant, how to deal with Vaishnavas, how to preach, how to distribute books, like this. There's so many things that make our chanting perfect. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day is approaching soon, Gaura Purnima. So it's nice that you're all discussing, taking time to discuss Chaitanya Lila. This is so wonderful, so inspiring, such a nice example. So we should also be reading these books. Prabhupada wanted us, we read these books. And also I wanted to take this opportunity to request, if any of you don't have Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is the best time to also buy the books they're not expensive, and it's such a treasure to have and to read, to understand the science. Krishna Tattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called it Krishna Tattva. It's a science. Krishna consciousness is a science. And just by reading how the devotees took prasad, how they took bath, how they washed the temple, so many amazing pastimes and instructions, this way we will become purified, will become great devotees. Otherwise, this material world has nothing to offer. It's just same old thing over and over and over. What did Trump say? What did Obama say? What is BJP doing? What is Congress doing? Wherever in the world you go, it's just like two parties fighting. People are taking sides, and there's just like so much agitation. People have no concept. Like Prabhupada says, you could be president of America, but in 10 years' time, you can be president now, but 10 years' time you're dead and gone, and you can become a dog, But people have no sense of time, like how everything is temporary and we have to move on. We take all these things so seriously, and the television and social media is bringing in so much agitation to our minds, and we also become influenced and agitated. So if we take shelter of Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see the priority, and we become detached from all these temporary things, and we'll see the urgency. We don't have time, and so many people are suffering. Then we'll become compassionate. We'll chant better. Quality of life will become better, and this way our human life will become perfect. Our life is like so short, like Prahlad Maharaj says, people of Kali Yuga live such short life, and half of that is gone in sleep. So we don't have much time at all to waste in anything else except trying to go deeper in Krishna consciousness. So I thank you all for being an example and taking this opportunity to do this hearing and chanting together. I seek all your blessings so I can also develop taste for hearing Chaitanya Charitamrita more and more and distributing Chaitanya Charitamrita. So I'll stop here. If anybody have any questions, we can discuss.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dandavat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for a very, very beautiful class. I really like one point you were mentioning about how the body of the disciple is actually the property of the spiritual master, and whatever this material thing, whatever we think, it's all in our consciousness. It's only about the consciousness that transforms from our thoughts, from thinking that one thing is material to spiritual. So the example that you were giving and whatever you said, it was very, very beautiful, Prabhu. Very, very nice class, very thought-provoking. Thank you so much. And I've unmuted everyone, so anyone who wants to ask questions can go ahead. And also, if anyone wants to purchase Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita today or any of these days, please contact Shastra today. Hare Krishna.
I wanted to say, Preeti Mataji, you're a wonderful example of, being a wonderful disciple and offering everything you have in the service of ISKCON society and Vaishnavas in general. So I want to take that opportunity to, glorify you.
Jai Ho Gopinath, you are right, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu. Anyway, so thank you again, Prabhu. And I can also help with, if anyone wants to purchase the book, please let me know. And I can actually connect you with Shastra Prabhu so that you can get the book. Thank you, Prabhu. And anyone else who wants to continue to ask any questions, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. The story that you mentioned about Qureshi was so beautiful from Chaitanya Charitamrita, and an example that you led, that even if we are in association with few devotees who have not conquered lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, enviousness, and other things, though they be offensive to other devotees, in the association of these kind of devotees, we should just forgive them and ask Krishna as well to forgive the offenses that ever been done from any other devotee to any other Vaishnavas. So that is the teaching I got from the story, which was so nice that you recited.
Right.
Thank you for that. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Prabhu.
you, Mataji. Thank you.
So, Prabhu, what was the paste of saffron, guru, and camphor that you mentioned?
What is the what?
The paste made with camphor, guru, and saffron. Not guru, sorry, it was musk, right? Yeah, musk.
Yeah, it's called Chatusmada.
Chatusmada. Yeah, that pastime
Yeah.
was also very nice. Very, very nice.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, all the Shri Prabhupada and Guruji. Thank you very
Hare
much
Krishna.
for fun. Hare Bol, Jai Shri Radha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful class. All the examples were so nice, so learning, and the quality of forgiveness especially is so, we should revive this quality into us, so that is so much important for us. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a nice class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, if no one else has any questions or comments, we can end the class. Thank you all so much again. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. You all have a beautiful week. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nice class. Very nice.